Welcome. Thanks for being here. Welcome to another Best You discussion. Let's quickly cover some of the essentials. Number one, we're here to answer questions. So please ask questions. We want to help you, so help us. Robin is, as always, behind the camera. She'll take your questions and then give them to me and we can discuss them. Number two, our email address. Send us questions, comments, topics you want to have discussed. And you can receive our bi-monthly blog, bestyouguru@yahoo.com. That is our email address. We do also have a website. Feel free to check it out. It's bestyouguru.com. bestyouguru.com. And people ask me, why Best You Guru? Very simple. bestyou@yahoo.com was already taken. So we had to come up with something, so we came up with bestyouGuru.com. And donations are always welcome. So send any donations to Venmo at Robin-Shivery. Much appreciated. Remember, ask questions. Today's topic is tapping into your potential. Please remember, Best You is founded on 3 pillars. 1, we believe that everyone has the seeds of unique greatness within them. Your job, your mission in life, is to nurture those seeds of greatness. The second pillar is society's mission is to standardize, socialize, and sterilize each of us so we can conform, because society is advanced, if better, if we're all conforming. That, so they think. And number 3, Best You believes that achievement is the best path forward, the best path for you to fully utilize the seeds of greatness within you. Whether it's making your bed every day, or whether it's just getting up and polishing your shoes, if they still do that anymore. But achievement, regardless of how you consider it insignificant, achievement built upon achievement ensures nurturing your potential. Today, we're in the midst of a global crisis. It's terrifying. It truly is. And if you're not scared, if you're not concerned, you may not be paying attention. But I want to remind each of you that there are always 2 sides to every situation. Right now, one side is doom and gloom. The sky is falling. The end is near. And while that may be true, there's another side. This is an opportunity to improve. Yeah, we face a scary time, but it's also a promising time. It's a time to reflect. It's a time to assess. Who are we? What can we do? So don't always look at the doom and gloom side. Look at the promise of what the future holds if we prepare ourselves. It is time to reflect, to plan, and to assess. Reflect of where you've been. Plan where you want to go. And assess, is it worthy of your potential to go there? Remember, this too will pass. It will. And where did you spend the majority of your thoughts? You know, tapping into your potential, which is tonight's topic, requires you to live as you, instead of the illusionary version of who society told you to be. Tapping into your potential requires the authentic you. The strength of our country is you. You are at the center of our liberty. Remember this, corporations don't create jobs. Demand creates jobs. You create the demand. Your potential is greater than you've been led to believe. That is your power. Living your potential requires you to get into the water of life. You know, standing by the side of a pool and watching an Olympic swimmer swim doesn't make you an expert at swimming. To be an expert in your life, requires you to live your life. Tapping into your potential requires you to live a life of integrity. Now, in our society, we've been taught to believe that integrity is character, decency, goodness, honesty, morality, and similar terms. But all of those are societal constructs, and they're very, very subjective in who is moral and who is not. But let me tell you where the word integrity comes from. It comes from, and Robin will get me on this, but it comes from the Latin word called integritium, which means soundness, wholeness, or completeness, oneness. Remember the mathematics term integer? One. Integrity means you live as one, as a whole. It means that you walk your talk, that you live as you claim to live. If you're not living your authentic identity, you will never be whole. You will never be complete. Sadly, you'll never have integrity. Because if you're not living as the authentic you, the who you are living will never coordinate with your authenticity. It's a deep thought, but if you want to live a life of integrity, live your thoughts, live your beliefs, walk your talk. I ask myself daily, and I ask you to do the same, am I offering an example of integrity? Am I the same person regardless of the situation? You like that term, don't you? Made Robin smile. So try to be who you are. Now she's laughing. Try to be who you are to the world as you are on the inside. The first step and mandatory step in living your potential is connecting to the real you. Your seeds of greatness are there. Do not, I ask you, do not believe in the version and do not live the version that you were told to live. There is a student that I taught many, many years ago. His parents came to me because he wanted to learn the martial arts. No problem, right? Well, the issue is that he was in a wheelchair. He couldn't utilize his legs. His left arm was limited, but he had full use of his right arm and he had full use of his brain. And so I told his parents I would teach him the martial arts. So he came to class and he worked very hard, studied the katas, and even sparred in class. He even competed in a tournament. Some people complained because how could they fight a guy in a wheelchair? But the martial arts is not about your limitations. Life is not about your limitations. Life is about who you are. He wanted to become a martial artist. That was his authenticity. And so he did. He actually competed. So I ask you, do not believe in the version that was told of you to be. Believe who you are, live who you are. And how do you do that? Keep a list of your childhood attributes. Stay connected to you as a child. What did you believe? What were your hobbies? What did you read? Happiness can only be found in living as you. No matter how much worldly success you have, it will never be enough if you're living as someone else. I personally admire Warren Buffett. I read all that I can about Warren Buffett. He's one of my heroes. But would I want to live his life? No, because that's not me. So the first thing you need to do to tap into your potential is connect to who you were as a child. Who were you born to be? The second thing is you need to achieve. You need to achieve. We have a program called Achievement by Design. And so we believe you need to design your achievement because your purpose is found in your childhood. Achievement gives that purpose direction. So zero in on your purpose. What does it look like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? What's your purpose? Draw it out. And then ask yourself, before any endeavor, ask yourself, is this worthy of my time? You know, time is the only thing you can't create. You can never get it back. And if it's worthy of your time, it should be connected to your authentic identity. It should be connected to the real you. Then it's worthy of your time. So now we do have some questions that we will answer. The first question, how do you know when you have started to tap into your potential? Obstacles get in your way. Irritating obstacles, not hard obstacles, not difficult obstacles, but infuriating obstacles. They get in your way. I used to like to say, the dark side's coming against me to stop me. So that's one key. I'll give you an example. I had a student one time, a guy named John Christian. John came to me and wanted to learn the martial arts, and we worked together. And I wasn't teaching at the time. And so I agreed, and we got a company to give a portion of the building where I could teach him the martial arts. And slowly we grew class, and we had about 20, 30 students by the time I left the company. But John really wanted to learn. The problem was, John was, I don't know, about 45, 50 years old at the time and weighed probably close to 400 pounds, between 380 and 400. Wasn't in great shape, but he wanted to learn the martial arts. So he studied for several years and finally achieved a black belt. And John is no longer with us, so I don't think I'll embarrass him by saying this and use his story as an example. When he was a green belt, he was competing in kata at the Mid-South Karate Classic competition. And in the middle of hundreds and hundreds of spectators and all the competitors, in the middle of a kata, for those who are not martial artists, is a series of fighting movements done in front of judges, and they critique your movements, your strikes, your blows, your kicks, your stances. They critique everything. And it's nerve-wracking. Many of us find it harder than fighting because all eyes are on every movement you make. Right in the middle of this kata, his pants fall to the floor. Here's a 350-pound man, grown man, with his pants falling to the floor. Now, what do you do in the middle of a fight? You don't stop and pull up your pants. Well, a kata represents a fight. So what do? He did as he was taught. He kept doing the kata, and he didn't stop until it was complete. And he actually placed because most of the judges admired his ability to continue, even though he's hampered in a lot of his stances, and he couldn't kick because his pants were at his ankles. But he didn't stop. That's what I'm talking about, the obstacles in life. Do not stop in what you're pursuing to do when you know you're tapped into your potential, because those obstacles will get in your way. And you're tapping into your potential. Look back on your childhood. Is it something you would do as a child? Is there somehow you connect it to your childhood dreams? That's another way of doing it. The other way you know when you've started to tap into your potential, positive people will gravitate to you. Negative people, you'll be able to spot. They'll try to stop you, but positive people will gravitate to you and encourage you. There is an old saying, and if I get this right, I'll be doing well, but when you are ready, the master appears. When you're ready to tap into your potential, someone or a group of someones will come into your life to take you by the hand and show you the path. There is an energy shift that allow in your spirit to allow you to know that you're correct. Your mindset during that time frame Well, you know you're right. But one of the tricks or one of the keys that I always know, the little things, irritating things, will get in my way. So I hope that answers your question, and if it doesn't, email me and we'll have further discussions. The next question is, why don't they teach this in school? Well, they don't teach you how to utilize your potential in school because it doesn't serve the school's purpose. The school's purpose is conformity and to perpetuate itself. If we taught everyone how to use their unique and individual greatness, their potential, how do you do that? How do you do that from a school's perspective? It's very difficult. It would take a restructuring of the entire institution. I wish they could. I wish they would take the time, but our school systems today are set up to have you get a job, to get a career, not to live your life to the best of your potential. So they don't teach it in school because it doesn't serve their purpose. Next question. What is the best way to increase my potential? Well, I don't know if that's really the proper way to frame it. Increasing your potential, I don't know how you increase your potential. But the way to frame it is this. How can I live my potential? How can I stop limiting my potential? How can I stop sabotaging myself? I think that's a better way to frame it, because increasing your potential, I don't know if anybody's ever lived to the limits of their potential. So I would frame it, how do I stop limiting myself or sabotaging myself? And so I would ask you, where do you spend most of your time, physically and mentally? Do you spend most of your time in negative environments? And in negative in a situation where you're not surrounded by the people that will best promote you, to help you, to encourage you, to challenge you? Is most of your thoughts spent on why I can't as opposed to how I can? So the first thing I would say is, where do you spend your time mentally and physically? When you see a problem, do you look at the problem and say, man, that's just too overwhelming, or man, how can I fix this problem? Robin reminded me the other day, years ago, I was with a company in Loudoun County, Virginia, and my assignment was to provide electrical and fix the electrical at AOL Center, the AOL Center in Loudoun County. And a gentleman that was working with me, we had a lot of problems, and one day he presented a problem to me and we found a way around it. And he said, Harry, you know something? You always seem to find the pony. And I said, find the pony? What do you mean? He says, no matter the situation, you find the pony. And I said, well, Bob, explain that to me. And he said, well, we could go, he said, Harry, if you went into a room and it was full of crap, he used a different word, so I'll be gentle. If we found a room full of crap, he would say, Harry, you would look for the pony, because that crap had to come from somewhere. And so I ask you, where do you spend your time? How do you spend your time? When you see a problem, do you look for the pony? So I'd ask all of you listening tonight, find the pony. When you find yourself in a room full of crap, find the pony, because it's there somewhere. Then I would ask you, how do you spend your money? Get your checkbook out, your credit card statement. How do you spend your money? Do you spend it on education, or do you spend it on entertainment? Is this life about entertaining you or about educating you? If you want to climb mountains, if you want to really increase your potential, stop limiting yourself and educate yourself. Entertainment's fine. I love college football. Game day Saturdays, I really enjoy. But I spend far more time reading and trying to educate myself than I do trying to entertain myself. And this is Luna. This is Robin's little kitty. Luna, say hi to everybody. So I would ask you to learn to educate your life as opposed to just entertaining yourself. Americans spend a lot more time and money on entertainment than we do education. And if you want to live your potential, you need to educate yourself. 3, I would say, who surrounds you? Who surrounds you? There's an old adage that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So who surrounds you? Are you surrounded with people just like you? Are you surrounded with people that agree with you? If I'm surrounded with people that agree with me, I question them because I don't always agree with me. So who surrounds you? Surround yourself with people that you admire, that push you, that encourage you, that disagree with you, that challenge you. So to me, that's the best way of increasing your potential. Next question.
We have a question that came across on the feed on Facebook.
Yes.
So someone says, I have really been thinking about your inclusion on integrity, coupled with the question, is it worth my time?
I can't really answer if is it worth your time. All I know is if you want to be happy, if you truly want to find a happiness that can be yours, then you have to live a life of integrity. Because if you don't, you'll be living the life that was told you to live, that someone said you should live, the one that society's construct said, here's where you need to be, here's what you need to do, instead of the seeds of greatness within you. Is it worth your time? I don't know. Happiness to me is worth the time. All I know is when I die, the last breath I take, I can look back and know I gave it everything I had. Was I always right? No. But I've always tried to live who I'm supposed to be. It's something I've been very fortunate to have. I'm one of the happiest guys in the world. But I can tell you, it's not been easy. So is integrity worth it? Sure. In my opinion, because I'm honest with myself. Now, some people don't like me because I'm honest with myself. Some people may disagree with me because I'm honest with myself. I don't pretend to be what someone wants me to be based upon whether they like me or not. So is it really worth it? I would ask you, do you want to be happy? If the answer is you want to be happy, then I would say it's worth it. Next question. Thank you for the question, by the way, because if you ask it, that means there's a lot of other people that want to know as well, because it does take hard work to live life as you. It does take conflict, because a lot of people won't like you. But my mission in life is to utilize the seeds that are within me, to utilize the gifts of greatness that I've been given, that I've been granted. And it's not necessary to make sure Billy Bob at the end of the street or Mary Jo at the end of the block is really happy with me. I won't go out of my way to make them mad. But integrity, yeah, they know who I am. I don't change based upon the current trends. Next question. I hope that answers. If not, email me and we'll continue the conversation. I think happiness is worth it. How can I stay motivated to use my potential? How can I stay motivated to use my potential? Well, I think number one, you need to know where you're going. I think that one of the most damaging aspects of trying to utilize your potential is to go nowhere and go there fast. So I would say a vision board. I'm very big on having something visual that I can look at and say, here's where I'm going to be. Do I always wind up there? Maybe not. Sometimes plan B is better, but I have a vision of where I'm going, and that's critical to me. On that vision board, and I don't like to say dream board because dreams are something I do at night. I just need to have a vision. But on that vision board, I placed an achievement roadmap. What do I want to achieve? And I do it in segments. Maybe the ultimate achievement is to, have a cabin in the woods, but in order to get there, I got to do certain things. So I set out an achievement roadmap. Put pictures on the vision board. I'm big on pictures. Visual is a big thing to me, and I think it's to most people. So put pictures on the vision board. But also on that vision board, remind yourself of your greatness. When you were a kid, I'm a child. If you really think back, most people have a difficult time thinking back there because it requires effort. But think back, your limitations were much less than they are today. And the argument may be, but Harry, reality has hit me in the face. And I would challenge you on that. I don't think it's reality. I think it's societal expectations and limitations. People told you what you couldn't do, and you believed them. They were adults probably, or authority figures, so you believed that, no, you shouldn't do that, or you can't do that. There was a time in high school when Dr. Butts was his name, and he's probably deceased now, but Dr. Butts, I entered as a sophomore in high school. I was not a very good student. For those that know me, I didn't grow up with a lot of money. I'm a single parent, growing up in the 50s and early 60s. My mom worked very hard, and there were times where we didn't have a whole lot. So I wasn't your best student. So I entered high school, 10th grade, and they used to have an assessment test. So I was brought into a counselor's office. He said, Harry, according to your test, you shouldn't go to college. You shouldn't really look for anything more than being a sanitation engineer, but he said garbage collector, or an auto mechanic, because you don't have the aptitude to do anything more. I could have at that point in time believed what he told me. Now, I didn't know why he was wrong. I didn't know how he was wrong, but I knew he was wrong. I didn't know how to prove him wrong, but I didn't know much about cars. I didn't even really like cars. I knew what I like, and I stuck to it. And today it served me very well. But I could have believed his image of me or not. I chose not to. I didn't limit my greatness by what the professional counselor told me. And then the last thing I put on that board, and I may even carry it and put it on my desk so I could see it more often. Remind yourself where you're going. How many of you wake up every day wondering, oh, like a goose, I'm waking up in a new world every day? Well, Robin can tell you, and it irritates her sometimes, every morning I wake up, I have a plan. It may be to only do one thing, but I have a plan. I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do. I know who I'm going to be today.
That's pretty easy right now.
Well, it's pretty easy right now because we're all confined, so to speak, except you. You have to work in a hospital, so hats off to you. But every day, I know where I'm going. Now, I don't always get there. Things sidetrack me. But I wake up with a plan. So please, wake up with a plan. That's, to me, how to best stay motivated to use your potential. You get sidetracked, that's okay, but you have a plan. I would rather guide my life and have a plan for my life than depend upon somebody giving me a plan that probably doesn't like me, and they're going to use that plan for their best interest. I'd rather have the plan for my best interest. Harry, what are some of the best methods for building self-confidence? I like this. Be still. Be still. Listen more and talk less. Listen more and talk less. You'd be surprised how many people around you can impart knowledge upon you that if you're talking, you'll miss. So be still, listen more, talk less. Surround yourself with people that challenge you with the truth. And I've said that many times. If you take a swath of my friends, very few are like me. Most of them are a lot different from me, and I enjoy that. I like to be challenged. Focus on what you got right. This is one of my pet peeves in life. When you're in school, and this starts really early on, because we're told no so many times. I think it's like 400 times per day a child is told no. And how many times we tell them yes? So you build self-confidence on little things. And one of them is focus on what you got right. When teachers grade tests in elementary school, they don't count the ones you got right. There's a big black check mark by the ones you got wrong. And then you're taught to focus on what you got wrong so you can get it right the next time. Well, to me, that's like me trying to focus on being an NBA basketball player. I don't think that would work out. Regardless of how much I practice, I'm 5'7" and 3/4, and if I feel like I want to fudge it, I may say 5'8", but there's not much chance of me playing the NBA. So if I focused all my time on learning how to do what I don't do well, I may miss what I do well. So I'm not saying ignore what you don't do well, but focus on what you do right. That's how you build self-confidence. Be still, listen more, talk less. Surround yourself with people that challenge your thoughts, that challenge you. Focus on what you got right in this life and what you get right every day. You know, I do a lot of things right, according to Robin, but I don't fold clothes worth a crap. She takes all my clothes out of my drawer after I put them in there, and then she refolds them, because I fold them wrong. But if I spend all my time folding my clothes, I may never get the laundry done. And I like to do laundry. And I go back to achievement. If you want to build confidence, achieve something. Achievement, built upon achievement, built upon achievement, allows you to achieve a lot of things in life. What are some of the tools that can help a person find their potential? Well, I go back to childhood dreams. You were born with the seeds of greatness. So what did you dream as a child? What were your childhood activities? When I was a young man, I never thought about working on cars, but I thought about politics. I remember when I was, probably either kindergarten or first grade, there were some politicians on TV, a black and white TV. It was some convention. And it was, I don't know whether Republican, Democrat, Independent, I don't know. But I knew, now this was elementary, first grade or kindergarten. I asked my grandmother, I said, Grandmother, what's the difference between Democrats and Republicans? And she didn't tell me anything really fancy or anything really sophisticated, but she pointed out something to me that I hold true to this day. Well, they both steal your money or take your money. Republicans will take your money and give it to the rich. The Democrats will take your money and give it to the poor. So which are you? That stuck with me, and I couldn't have been 6 or 7 years old. That stuck with me over half a century. I've always held an interest in politics. So as a result, I've got to do a lot of things politically. But it was based upon a childhood activity. And if you would have told my high school counselor that Harry would be a delegate someday to a national convention, they would look at you and say, him? Or that I would run for political office. Him? Or I'd write political papers. No one would have thought of that. But I knew it as a child. So connect to your dreams and activities as a child. Again, If you want to help find your potential and live your potential, some of the tools: design your achievement. Don't just let achievement happen, design it. Identify your thoughts. One of the hardest things that we do is we sabotage ourselves by our thoughts. So identify them. And then I would say, where'd they come from? Ask yourself, where did that thought come from? Verify the source. If you've ever had taken a statistics class, all information must be reliable and verifiable. So where was the source of that information? When that high school counselor told me what I could not become, well, obviously, couldn't be verified because I proved him wrong. And it wasn't reliable because he didn't know me. He didn't know my dreams or aspirations or my potential. So when you get hit with some information of what you shouldn't do or couldn't do, where'd that information come from? Identify your thoughts. When you have something in your mind that comes to your mind and says, oh, you can't do that, where'd that thought come from? Ask yourself, where did that thought come from? The other thing I would say yes to success. If some opportunity comes your way or someone gives you an opportunity to achieve greatness that you really want to do, say yes. Worry about the how later. But say yes. Then figure out how. Allowing doubt to sabotage your dreams is ineffective use of that tool. Doubt in your quest to achieve something should be that tool, that instigator that allows you to figure out the how. Doubt is a good tool. But if you think about it as a limiting factor, it'll stop you. I don't. I use it as a tool to say, oh, the doubt, here's how. Keep a notepad by your bed. Oftentimes, 2 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and I start scribbling something. I don't turn on the light, but I'll scribble it down on the notepad because some of my best ideas are at night when I don't have society's limitations. My mind is free to wonder about what I could do. Your subconscious mind often doesn't see the limitation that's before us every day. So keep a notepad by your bed. And as you sleep, you wake up. The first thing in the morning, when you wake up from a sleep, I would write down something. What did you think? What do you think? What's the first thing on your mind? And see if that's a good thing to keep throughout the day. Now, if you're not a morning person, wake up till you've had your first cup of coffee. That's fine. But I wake up ready to go. So I'm ready to write. So some of the tools: connect with your childhood. What were your activities? Write them down. Don't just think about them. Write them down. Outline them. Who were you as a child? You're not that much different. You've just hidden from yourself. You are the same person today as you were when you were 6 years old, 5 years old, 8 years old. The difference is, what have you allowed society to cover you up with? Look for the pony within you. The last question I have, unless you have some more, Robin, the last question I have is: positive thinking and affirmations enough to tap into your potential? I think positive thinking and affirmations are great tools. They really are. But they're not enough. But negative thinking is enough to destroy you. Negative thinking is enough to destroy everything you've worked for and worked on in your life. Positive thinking is not enough to tap into your potential. You need more. You need achievement, because achievement really is the building platform for further achievement. There is a martial artist, a gentleman named Alan Kelly. And Alan was a wonderful man, or he's a wonderful man. I haven't seen him in several decades, but Alan once said that a black belt is really earned after it's given. That you don't really become a black belt until you start wearing it. That's what achievement is. You really don't achieve success until you are successful. You may not know you're successful, but you're there. And it builds upon and builds upon. Black belt becomes better with each fight because he's forced to. So my suggestion is, it's not just positive thinking and affirmations. That tells your mind, it keeps you motivated. But I believe in success. If you want to learn to swim, jump in the pool. You know, if you want to conquer mountains, start climbing. Now you may need motivation and positive thinking affirmations as you're climbing up the mountain, but my suggestion is start hiking, get out there. So you need more than just the positive thinking. We believe that people need a roadmap. The roadmap keeps you on track. If you drove from wherever you're at today into a different city 1,500 miles away, and you've never been there before, you may use a GPS, a roadmap to get you there. Well, life is that way. You need a roadmap to let you know where you're going to go and where you want to be. But remember, life is like climbing stairs. Most of us will climb a set of stairs with the belief and the hope there's a landing when we get to the top. That's how life is. You've got to have that belief and the destination that it will be there. And as you climb each step, the platform of where you want to be is there. That's why you create a roadmap. There was a time that I coached a team of Little League baseball. And I had some really great kids. Sad part was they weren't a very good baseball team by society standards. I always liked to take those teams for whatever reason. But this baseball team, we were playing an opponent, and this opponent was the best in the city of Tulsa, Oklahoma. They were awesome. I mean, the players, even though it was an elementary school, the players were probably good enough to beat me at the time, and I was the coach on the other team. So I got the team together, and I said, look, how many of you really think we can beat them? And not a hand was raised. And you know what? I didn't think I could beat them either. I didn't think that team that I was coaching was good enough to beat the other team. They had superior athletes. So what we did, no positive thinking, no affirmations, probably could have won the game by the standards that society set for them to win the game, by scoring the most runs. We lost that game. I'm not even sure we scored a run. But I got to tell you something. We had the better time. Our kids learned more. Our kids had more fun. When someone from the other team hit a home run, our team would clap for them. We would congratulate them. As they rounded the bases, we would give them high fives because what I told that team before the game, look, I think we are right. I think that you guys, we can't beat that team at that game. But why did you play baseball? Why are you playing Little League Baseball? Is it just to win the game? Or are you here to have fun? Well, you know what this team said? They're there to have fun. And so I said, okay, here's the deal. Your mission is to play the best game you can possibly play and to have more fun than the other team. We rewrote the rules of the game. So we, in essence, won. Years later, several of those teams of players had contacted me and told them that taught them how to construct the rules of the game they were playing to fit their needs. These kids didn't want to be professional baseball players. They were out there to have fun. So that particular game, the score was not relevant. Having fun was most important. So if you're thinking about positive thinking affirmations, sure. But understand their limitations. Make sure you construct the game that you're playing so that you can achieve your ultimate goals. And then last thing I would say about positive thinking affirmations, I would tapping into your potential, achieve something every day. Every night before I go to bed, I lay there, while I'm in bed, I lay there and make sure that I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, or did the best I could to accomplish it. And oftentimes, and Robin can testify to this, I'll get up out of bed because I failed to complete one last task. It may have only a 5-minute task, but it's something I wanted to accomplish. So accomplish something every day. So that's all the questions I have. Robin, do you have any more?
Did not get any more questions.
Okay, so if you have any more, if you watch us later, please contact us. And let me re-educate
Our high-tech way here.
our high-tech way.
Hold on. There you go.
bestyouguru@yahoo.com. Send us an email, questions, any topics you want to talk about. We're here to help you. It's our way of staying happy by giving back what we know. We do have a website. Feel free to check it out. bestyouguru.com. And if you feel like donating, Venmo at Robin-Shivery. Donations are always welcome. So as a recap, tapping into your potential begins with discovering and living your authentic identity. You will never tap into your true potential if you live life as someone else. Number 2, consider the source of all information. Your brain regards information neither good nor bad. It is just information. Do not allow negative information inside your brain unless you qualify it. Do not believe, do not accept, do not take into your soul information that was meant to harm you. Number 3, living your unique purpose with direction. Tapping into your potential requires you to fulfill your unique purpose. It is unique, but you got to do it with direction. Number 4, choose education over entertainment. Our society is so in love with entertainment, but educate yourself. 5, the way to feel good, if you really want to feel good, the way to feel good is to do good. Find your good and do it. Number 6, never ever discard any idea. Discuss it with those around you, analyze it in your brain, then discard it or accept it. But just don't discard an idea just because it was a foreign concept to you. 7, one of the most important things, surrounding yourself with people that love you and challenge you. Do not surround yourself with the vampires of life that just drain you and zap you of your energy and take away your dreams, take away your drive. Because the energy zappers are out there. They will. So what I ask you to do is the term, find your tribe. Find the people that challenge you, that love you, that accept you for all your uniqueness and your quirks. Find your tribe, because they will uplift you to help you nurture your seeds of greatness. Thank you for being here, and we leave you with this thought as you begin each new day. Each day you awake, and as you accept each new challenge, I want you to ask yourself, I think Robin told me this. I'll give you the credit anyway.
Thanks.
Is what I'm about to do today, is what I'm about to do worthy of the last day of my life? Thank you for being here.
Bye, y'all.